Good day, everyone. Once again, this is your reporter, Mr. Benji Echa, and as of this moment, I am going to discuss to you the cognitive development of the intermediate schoolers. So, the cognitive development of the intermediate schoolers define as where they experience a rapid development of their mental skills. According to John Page, it is the stage of concrete operational thinkers where they can already organize thought effectively with the help of their parents, adults, and their proper guidance and nurturing them. These children can now easily succeed in their intellectual endeavors. Moreover, they were also capable now to make use of logical principles in problem solvings involving physical worlds. For example, the child can now understand the principle of cause and effect, size and distance, and they could also use the inductive reasoning. So here is our learning outcomes for this topic. First, at the end of this module, the students were able to examine the cognitive characteristics of intermediate schoolers, discuss the important factors that affect the cognitive development of the intermediate schoolers, and lastly, enumerate ways on how teachers can promote creativity in the learning environment, learning activities, and instructional materials. So the initial cognitive characteristics of the intermediate schoolers. First, the intermediate schoolers, their thinking skills become more effective compared to the primary years. So, meaning to say, this age is tumataas na yung kanilang kakayahan or ng kanilang kakayahan sa pag-iisip o yung kanilang level of intelligence compared doon sa mga bata na nasa edad na um, from grade 1 to grade 3. They are now capable to join in such extracurricular activities sa schools like journalism, MTAP, Quiz B, because of their abilities nga to deal with such complex ideas. I guess during this age, when we are in around grade 4 and grade 6, some of us ay mga naging panlaban sa mga ganyang extracurricular activities. Next, their schoolwork are now more complicated. Reading texts have become longer. Problem solving has become an everyday part of their lives. So, yung mga lessons sa school during this grade level, from grade 4 to grade 6 is unti-unti na siyang nagiging komplikado. Yung mga bata is nakaka-encounter na sila ng mga mahabang reading materials na English, may mga mathematical problem na din na ina-involve, science experiments, and etc. So, basically, dito na sila tinuturuan na magsimulang mag-isip in a critical and in a logical manner. Next, they now become interested in talking about the future and their potential careers. So, it is very evident in us. I know that all of us can relate here. So, kung matatandaan natin, when we were in at this age, meron na agad tayong vision kung ano yung gusto natin maging paglaki natin. At gusto natin na lagi itong pinag-uusapan. So, as I remember, lagi ko itong sinasabi kay papa at mama na gusto ko pong maging engineer at natutuwa ako tuwing pinag-uusapan ng tatay ko at ng kanyang mga kaibigan yung mga sinasabi ko sa kanila. So, masaya ako tuwing naririnig ko na alam mo yan, yung panganay kong anak gustong maging engineer niyan balang araw. Next, they develop special interest in collections, hobbies, and sports. So, as I remember again, when I was also in grade 5 where I exposed in dancing, mula noon is nalaman ko na kung ano yung gusto kong gawin or kahiligan. At yun nga is yung pagsasayaw. Pagdating naman sa sports, I guess ang nabigyan ko ng interest is yung volleyball. So, 'di ba? Kung mapapansin natin during this grade 4 to grade 6 is dito natin makikita na sila is na-expose na sa iba't ibang klase ng mga activities wherein nalalaman nila kung ano yung gusto nilang gawin. Mahilig pala akong magsayaw, mahilig pala akong gumawa ng tula, mahilig pala akong kumanta. So, dito yon. So, regarding naman sa reading skills ng intermediate schoolers, it says that they mark by a wide application of word attack or yung wide vocabulary. So, since nagiging komplikado na nga yung mga lessons, yung mga aralin sa mga ganitong edad, is nakaka-encounter na yung mga bata ng mga unfamiliar words, mga different unfamiliar words. So, from that way, lumalawak yung kanilang kaalaman or yung kanilang mga vocabulary. Also, siguro meron dito sa atin na during their elementary days, meron kayong teacher who is doing a word bank to exercise your vocabulary. So, it is truly a big help din talaga. In my case, naalala ko nung ako ay grade 5, grade 6, or grade 4, it is based on my experience. Every time that we go inside in the room, there is one of my teachers who is always putting a specific word sa front door every day yon. At kami naman, ang ginagawa namin is nagpapaunahan kaming hanapin yung general informations or yung general meaning ng word na yon. So, from that way is natutulungan kami na kumilala ng iba't ibang mga salita. So, kung meron man sa atin dito, I hope that we being thankful for that teacher. They are no longer in fairy tales and magic type of stories, but are more interested in longer and more complex materials. So, yes, as I said earlier, hindi na sila masyadong mahilig sa mga kwentong pambata, katulad ng mga Juan Tamad, Cinderella, Snow White, and etc. But they are more on complex materials like magazines, comics, poetries, newspapers, encyclopedia, and etc. So pagdating naman sa attention, ang ating mga intermediate schoolers or yung tinatawag nating late childhood, they have more longer and flexible attention span compared to younger children. So meaning to say is hindi na sila agad-agad na di-distract. Yung attentions nila ay nakadepende na sa kung gaano ka-required ang binibigay sa given task. Kung ito ay importante para sa isang nasa ganitong stage, para sa isang intermediate schoolers, then she could able to spend much of his attention. However, if ito naman ay hindi masyadong importante sa isang bata or hindi siya dito interesado, meaning to say is less lang yung attention na maibibigay niya. So, kapag siya ay, halimbawa, kapag siya ay interesado at gusto niya yung binabasa niya or pinapanood niya, then mas matagal yung attention na kaya niyang ibigay doon sa ginagawa niya. Sa school, tuwing may klase, required na sila talaga ay makinig at matuto. Kaya naman, yung mga nasa ganitong stage is hindi talaga sila basta-basta or agad-agad na distracts. Kapag narinig nila yung bell, most likely yung mga grade 1 to grade 3 is gusto na nilang umuwi, hindi na sila nakakapag-focus sa pakikinig. But here sa intermediate schoolers is kabaliktaran, nababawasan yung kanilang distractions. Hindi agad-agad sila nadidistract sa time ng bell. So their span of attentions is dependent on how much is required by the given task. Yes. Next is the creativity. So according to James Russell Lowell, creativity is not a finding of a thing, but making something out of it after it is found. So napakaganda, 'di ba? Pakinggan. So maraming kabataan ng grade 4 to grade 6 ang kung ano-ano ang ginagawa, children at this stage are open to explore new things. Gusto nila ng experience, they are fond of learning and knowledge because they are really exploring their horizons. So that is normal. So as an adult, I think the only thing that we can do is to support and guide them. So here is the naniniwala sila na creativity daw is mai-encourage within the children's once the activities are first encourage different responses from each children. So meaning to say, dapat as a future teacher, we should give them a response that they need or they expect. Kasi this stage, yung mga nasa ganitong edad is uhaw sila sa sense of accomplishment na gusto nila dapat laging napapansin yung kanilang mga ginagawa. So, dapat alam natin kung paano mag-appreciate ng gawa ng mga bata kahit na minsan hindi ito kagandahan. So, hindi naman siguro kaplastikan na kapag kinompliment mo yung gawa ng isang bata kahit na hindi naman talaga ito kagandahan. So, dapat marunong tayo sa ganon kasi it will help them a lot to truly do something that they want kung palagi nilang naririnig na natutuwa sila, na may natutuwa sa kanilang mga ginagawa. So from that way, mas na-explore pa nila yung kanilang talent, skills, and creativity. Celebrate uniqueness. They are unique with their own talents and skills and abilities. Kaya nga kung mapapansin natin, iba-iba tayo ng mga talento noong tayo ay nasa elementarya pa lang. Merong magaling sa arts, sa tula, merong magaling sa tula, sayaw at kanta. So dapat as a future teacher, we should acknowledge each of our students. I think we should need differences. Kailangan siguro ay i-acknowledge natin yung kanilang pagkakaiba, their uniqueness. So iwasan natin na magkaroon ng favoritism as much as possible. Huwag tayong maging bias sa mga estudyante. Kasi once na makita yon ng estudyante sa atin na meron tayong pinapanigan, hindi na sila gaganahan na mas ipakita yung kanilang kakayahan. It is because naniniwala sila na wala namang natutuwa. Hindi naman natutuwa sa akin si sir. So bakit ko pagagalingan? Next is break stereotypes. So, as a future teacher, hindi dapat manatili sa kanila yung pag-uugali ng stereotyping. So, dapat kailangan na basagin natin ito. Next is students value process over products. Kasi maganda naman talaga na nakikita nila kung paano ba yung isang bagay ay natapos. How is that particular things done or ginawa? So, from that way is tinuturuan natin sila na mas bigyan ng acknowledgement yung process over the results, para naman pagdating nila sa kanilang pagtanda is dala-dala na nila yon. Next is reduce stress and anxiety in children. So hindi maganda na yung nasa mga ganitong age or stage is stress na agad sila sa buhay. They must enjoy every step of the way of their life. As future parents, sana wag na tayong maging iwasan natin yung maging isang conservative parents, yung overprotective to the point na pinagbabawalan na natin silang gawin yung gusto nila. So let them enjoy. Let them play, let them explore whatever they want to do, and most especially is support their interest. Yun, tama. Support to share ideas not only with teachers, parents, but also with other childrens, and minimize competitions and external world. So, kailangan is yung competition thinking na meron sila every time na they are making an activity is mabawasan. Kasi mas maganda pa din talaga na ang iniisip nila is to accomplish that task ng maluwag sa kanilang kalooban, or gusto talaga nila yung ginagawa nila, and not just they are doing it to compete to other students. Kasi talagang napaka-evident ng kanyang mindset in that age. So gusto lagi nilang gusto lagi nila na lagi silang nasa top, sila lagi ang magaling. So kailangan siguro as a future teacher is turuan natin sila na i-appreciate yung kanilang yung yung talento din ng iba para naman sa hindi lang yung sarili nila yung iniisip nila. The impact of media. So the media has truly contributed a lot in the cognitive development of the late childhood. It generates both positive and negative effect. No? Sabi nga ni Anderson and Collins, 1988, television viewing is highly complex. Cognitive activity during which children are actively involved to learning. So, the dream of having television unit in every classroom po is started in 1950s. Ito ay itinuturing na bilang isang kauna-unahang technological advancement in schools. So, the impact of the use and other media like the computer, cell phones has gained popularity because students are given more opportunity to. So, ito pong impact ng media, we are talking the positive effect of the media. So first is communicate effectively. So yes, especially in Facebook and Twitter. We all know that blogging, texting, tweeting on social media is a real form of writing. And their writing is their voice, their way of communicating. So from that way, with the help of media, but of course with the proper guidance of an adults or of a teachers and teaching them the importance of informal communication on different social media platforms by using it responsibly so that students will believe in themselves. They have this strong confidence to create great thoughts and ideas, and their voice should be appreciated regardless of what outlet they are using to communicate. Next is students have more opportunity to work collaboratively. The media has literally served as a dynamic tool to expedite the development learning environment by encouraging cooperation and communication among students, which reinforce their learning behavior and performance. So we all know that the media, especially social media consists a variety of which based tools which enable their user to distribute and share new ideas, thoughts, and informations in a more interactions and virtual environment. So from that way, it offers students to have an efficient mechanism for communication, collaboration, and building connections among its users. So next is analyze problems, set goals, and formulate strategies for achieving goals. So with the help of medias, nagkakaroon sila ng pagkakataon na mag-research on how the problems should be resolved or should be done. Ano yung mga steps or strategies for achieving a certain goals. So mas maganda talaga na meron tayong source in everything that we do in life. And lastly is it gives students opportunity to seek out informations or skills on their own. Of course, lalo na ngayong online class na talagang ng iba is nahihirapan, but because of the media is natututo sila na gawin yung isang task on their own, mag-seek ng information on their own. So as a future teacher, wag natin silang sasanayin na palaging sinusubo lahat na nganganga na lang sila. Dapat is marunong silang tumayo sa kanilang sariling mga paa. So that is the positive effect of the media. So let us now move on to the media aggression. So when we say media aggression, ito naman yung mga hindi masyadong kagandahang epekto ng media sa buhay ng isang bata, particularly sa mga late childhood and intermediate schoolers. So according to Public Health Summit in 200 rather, the following are some negative results of media. First, it increase an antisocial and aggressive behavior. So pag sinabi nating antisocial is yung iba hindi na nakikipaghalubilo because yung attention nila is nasa kani-kanila na lang mga cellphone, okay lang kahit na nasa bahay na lang sila maghapon, naglalaro ng online games. So kumbaga hindi na healthy yung kanilang social life. And aggressive behavior kasi kung ano yung nakikita nila sa kanilang mga nilalaro or sa kanilang mga napapanood is na-adapt nila yon in real life. Example is yung kaklase ko dati na sa sobrang addict niya sa Mobile Legends is masabihan mo lang ng hindi maganda is manununtok na yon, mananakit na yon. So next is desire to more violence, desire to more violence in entertainment and in real life. So mga nasa ganitong stage is yung mga intermediate schooler, they believe na yung realidad ng buhay is puro na lang kabayolentihan. Kaya instead of socializing to other people, they choose to spend their time in a social media sa mga iba't ibang klase ng it's either in the video games, kadalasan. But with regard this, nung mga ganitong stage ako is, I've never felt this because hindi pa naman gaano ka-active ang social media noon. But as what I noticed, sa generation ngayon, it is very evident that most of them, instead of sharing their problems sa mga totoong tao na nakaharap nila sa kanilang pamilya, sa kanilang mga magulang, mga kaibigan is mas inuuna pa nila na i-broadcast ito sa kanilang mga social media account. Bakit? Kasi nga yung mga ganitong tao, feeling nila is walang nakakaintindi sa kanila. So they believe na kapag nagkwento sila sa ibang tao, pagtatawanan lang sila o husgahan. So that's why they choose to keep their bad feelings inside them, and what they are only doing is just to ease the pain is to post it, which is isang malaking mali. Katulad nga noong sinabi ko kanina is dapat habang bata pa lang, once na maging magulang na tayo, dapat sinasanay na natin sila na magkwento ng kanilang mga problema sa atin upang sa ganun is lumako sila na walang tinatagong sama ng loob sa atin at sa ibang tao. So view violence as an acceptable way to settle conflicts. So, yan yung mga pangit na ugali na makikita natin sa mga nasa late childhood, na yung kanilang mga pangit na ugali is nanggaling talaga sa mga iba't ibang klase ng media. So, kung minsan hindi na nakakatuwa yung approach nila, bigla-bigla na lang nanununtok, mananapok, maninipa, it is because yung actions na kanilang napapanood or nakikita sa kanilang mga video games, TV programs is na-acquire nila yon sa kanilang pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay. So kung mapapansin din natin na yung mga nasa grade 4 and grade 6 is sobrang active na sa social media, especially sa Facebook. At ang napansin ko doon talaga sila nag-aaway-away. Feeling nila kapag ginawa nila yon is nagiging okay ang lahat, which is wrong pa din. So tayo, I think as an adult at bilang magiging isang tagapagpayo at magulang, ano kaya yung pwede nating gawin para ma-address yung ganitong klase ng media aggression? So I think for me, let us just try our best to always guide them to the right path, teach them how to use social media responsibly upang kahit papaano is maging mabuti silang bata at mamamayan. it's for them naman, para yon sa kanilang ikakabuti. So here is the implications to childcare education and parenting. Children have varying intelligence profiles. These profiles may be based on influence on learning and achievements. Parents' childcare provides should be able to recognize this through first being an eager participant in children growth and development. So as a future teacher, we need to generate a creative teaching strategies where the students have to be actively involved in the teaching learning process. So for his or her intellectual growth while enjoying. An educational program should enable to the child to integrate informations that may help to develop his cognitions is also important and should also be considered. So on the other hand naman, ano yung mga pwede namang gawin ng mga magulang? They can do more, of course, to help his child during this time. So they could spend time with they could spend much of their times with their child, talk with her about her friends, her accomplishments, and what challenges she's facing. Be involved in their child's school's activities. Encourage your child to join schools and community groups such as sports teams or to be a volunteer for a charity, something like that. Help your child develop as his own help your child develop his own sense of right and wrong. Another, help your child develop a sense of responsibility. Help your child to set own goals. Ano pa? Encourage your child to read every day. Talk to him about his homework. Next is understanding how to use the children's natural curiosity to help the appropriate development leaps in the skills and abilities. So, dapat is yung kanilang mga tanong and curiosity is nasasagot. Hindi pwedeng hindi. Na wala tayong pakialam. The more curious of a child is, the more he learns. So, I think by means of nurturing your child's curiosity is one of the most important ways that you can help her become a lifelong learner. Next is creating, at ito yung pinakahuli, is creating an atmosphere where risk can be taken and discoveries made while children remain safe. So, dapat we are teaching them not to be afraid in taking risk. Kailangan nilang matutunan na they are a fighter of their own lives. So, huwag matakot sumugal as long as it will benefits you and it will make you a better person. So, I guess that would be all. Ayun ang dapat na i-input natin sa kanilang mga sa mga intermediate schoolers. They can do better. I think yan yung mga posible natin gawin as a future teacher, as a future magulang, so that itong mga intermediate schoolers is lumakas sila na maging isang mabuting tao at isang mabuting mamamayan. So, yes, I guess that would be all. I hope that you have learned something in this topic, the cognitive development.